Thank you. Wow. You're one of my first subscribers.
Oh, well, thank you. So what are you doing? Are you pulling tarot cards?
Yeah, I Rob has me on the show, and then the people in the chat ask for a reading, and then
Yeah.
and then meanwhile, just with friends and associates and stuff, we're out having a barbecue. I'll pull out the cards and we start having a conversation. But then, yeah, I can share this with you. I got a notebook right here, and pretty much a couple hours a day, I'm sitting there having a conversation with the tarot cards, and we're writing it all down. And I'm just showing you how much.
Wonderful.
So I guess I've anyway, helps having that much free time. I never even knew what the tarot card thing was about. So I guess while we're on the topic, I'd like to ask, what's the deal with me and tarot? Why does it seem so easy to me? Does this have something to do with a past life where perhaps I practice this?
Ooh, why does the tarot seem so easy? This is what you're meant to be doing.
Throwing tarot cards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. As part of the podcast, yes. Um, it does come very easy to you. Extremely so, actually. And you're getting messages in as you're pulling them. That's wonderful.
well, I agree. And again, this is something I brought with me from a previous life, perhaps. I must have practiced this before.
Where did this come from? Has this come from a previous life? Yes, but you used to read the stars.
Oh,
You
yeah, I
didn't
was an
read
astronomer.
tarot cards, you read the stars.
I heard this before that I used to be an astronomer in several lifetimes.
Yes, really?
That's what I heard. Yeah, can you
Yeah.
confirm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting. Like you used to read the stars, you would map the stars. You could give people a lot of information according to the stars. Yeah, I'm getting that very strongly.
Is there a name of an astronomer that I was part of his life, and he could pass that name on to me just for fun?
Was there, when was this? Hmm, what years was it? I feel like this is around 13 or 1400s. Was there a name associated with it at the time?
What I mean, who was it? What was the name of the guy that I was?
I feel like you were in Israel area. You were somewhere around that area. And what is the name of the
Oh,
person that you were? Do you know the name? Can you spell it for me? C, sorry, C-A-U-A, what is that? C-A-U-A. But obviously you weren't in English there. C-A-U-A, is that the first name? Yes, so whatever that sound is for the first name. And what was the surname? M-U-L-U-R-P or K? K. Something around like that.
that was totally cool, this cross. I could totally spend the next 3 hours talking about this stuff, but I want to say thank you for that information, and I'd like to press on if that's okay.
Of course. Are you feeling well though? Is everything sort of resolved?
Well, no, not exactly. Like, I mean, just to be funny about it, I remember when we left last time, we realized that the stars had lined up for me and everything is
Yeah.
mathematically arranged where, if I had to retire, it couldn't have happened at any earlier time. And it's kind of a miracle that it did.
Yeah.
And you were congratulating me at the end. But at the end, I was still shaking my fist saying, wait, I got screwed. So, and now, it's obviously I'm trying to move on. And you helped me because the message was, Ray, you need to let it go. You need to walk away. Leave the district alone. Don't even participate in that stuff anymore. And I agree. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Mm.
And so that part helped. But then there's something, what I'm calling the Scarlet Letter syndrome. And maybe you remember reading that in high school. If you,
Yes.
yes. So, for whatever reason, I feel like I have a scarlet letter, just to interact with people in my own neighborhood or even in my family. And I had a dream about it a couple of nights ago. So that's what happened in the dream. And I think I had the dream because I think the spirit world's been hearing me where I'm saying, whether I'm perceiving it correctly or not, this seems to be an issue. And, because I don't feel comfortable going to the high school to see my niece's events in the next few years because I don't want to encounter people and have to repeat the same story that, there was a teacher on the staff who had a beef with me for whatever reason, and she manipulated a child to say things in such a way that it prompted an
Mm.
investigation. And then she followed that up by spreading rumors about me that were very negative and made it impossible for me to go back to the school. And again, it was like more than just a blessing in disguise. It got me the hell out of there. And I don't like to cuss a lot. It was really wonderful. I have not been sick. I have not been yelled at. I've been at peace. Obviously, I must be getting closer to my higher self because I'm getting good at the tarot. And I did a good job on Rob's show the other night. I think the spirit world's got my back. I also think it's a waste. So this is the thing, and this is where I feel like I'm getting restless, and I'm sure the spirit world sees this. To brag or whatever, I got a lot of talent, and it just seems like, and I'm a good guy, and it feels like somehow I have to be able to help more people than I'm helping right now. I know, I could be at the very, very, very beginning of it all, but I'm just saying, I can't believe that, I would come this far and survive this much and accomplish this much and be ready to do this stuff and have for no reason. So if anyone wanted to comment on all that stuff I just said, that's fine, but I, I still had notes. Thank you for listening, Liz. I really appreciate it.
I just feel so bad that you've had to go through all of this. I mean, you certainly don't deserve it. But everything does happen for a reason.
Right?
And for whatever reason, you had to find this part of yourself.
I agree. So, the more for sure with the podcast and, the writing and the appearances and stuff, the more purpose I feel, but I'm looking forward to spending, to interacting more with humans, but at the same time, I'm wondering why, because I'm not having a lot of fun with humans,
Yeah.
but that could just be, the kind of position, these spiritual people get in sometimes. They don't really blend in with the muggles, the quote unquote muggles, although I want to embrace them and help them so much. And I care about them. I want to be part of.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I hope I didn't come off as really pompous just then. So,
No, no, not at all.
so did I ask this question already? Can you tell if I'm going to be working in a classroom next September? Or
Hmm. Is Ray going to work in a classroom next September? No.
okay, just making sure. I mean, again, I call it Raytirement. I can always go back if I choose to.
Retirement.
Yeah. So, I'm so blessed. I know they hear me say thank you all the time for this Raytirement. I say it every day. So I'm really glad I don't have to worry about that. Means I'm going to start throwing out my school stuff. And, wherever that answer came from, could you please ask, is it okay then I can start throwing out my school stuff? Can we ask?
Is it okay if Ray starts throwing out his school stuff? No, hold on to it.
Can I get a clue why? Am I allowed to know why?
Why should we hold on to it? I'm getting you could sell it. I don't know what it is that you have,
Yeah.
but I'm getting that you might be able to sell some of it.
Oh, like on Teachers Pay Teachers. Oh, okay.
Ah, that makes sense.
You're right. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't thinking, well, anyway, let's turn it all into a positive. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, we're doing good. So let's jump up a couple of dimensions. Last time we met, we took a look at my karma. Oh, can I ask real quick, because I don't really know about this stuff, but I heard on one of your shows, what soul level is my soul at right now? And how many levels are there?
What soul level is Ray Ray's soul at the moment? What soul level are you at? You're a 3 going into a 4. That's pretty high up.
Is it a scale up to 4?
No, it goes all the way up past the reincarnation cycle, which is up to like 11.
Okay.
How many human lifetimes has Ray Ray had? You've had a lot, actually. How many? You've had about a good 400. You've had a lot of human lifetimes.
Yes. In fact, you asked last time and you just confirmed what you said. You may not remember, but you're right. It
No,
was more than 400. And one of the things that you mentioned as well was that I was successful in this lifetime that I'm in with dealing with about 2/3 of my karma. And
oh, that's right. Yeah.
now, even I don't know a lot about this stuff, but even I think that that's a lot. And
Yeah.
it makes me think that I got a goal to accomplish, jettisoning it all, and taking care of it this lifetime. I feel like I must be really close. So one of the questions I have is, what was it that I did that was so effective that I took care of 70% of my karma?
Ooh, what was it that Ray Ray did that was so effective that takes care of the karma? Ooh, you really released the karma. You really release these karmic bonds I'm getting. How does he do that? I think you find a way to do that through tarot cards.
All right,
Now
keeping in mind,
that, hold on, let me give this to
sure.
you. That is very interesting. Okay, we may be coming across a new method here. And I don't know too much about tarot cards. I don't, I'm not a tarot card reader.
All right, you go, girl. Let's go.
So,
What do you got for me?
so does that mean if Ray Ray, like that one lady that you have this karmic debt with, and this lady that's causing all the trouble, and you
Right.
know who I'm talking about,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh.
Okay. What if we lay down, okay, oh wow. What if you do the soul contract in a full tarot card reading so you can understand the soul contract between the two of you? And then you go back through the cards one by one and you release the debt attached to each card. OMG, Ray, like that is so big. I've never heard of that, but that's a new method. Spirit are giving that to you.
I'm going to say Spirit's giving it to us, Liz Cross, and I hope you share it with as many people as you have access to. I know you have a lot of friends that follow you and they're interested in this stuff.
Oh,
This is great
thank you.
news. If you want, I mean, anyway, well that's good news. But here's the weird thing, right? I mean, I only learned tarot since the last time we talked,
Oh
so
my God.
so
Wow.
I wasn't using tarot. I didn't even really understand or appreciate what the tarot world was. So maybe we can try one more time. What was it that I was doing? I guess I was just going through the thought process, and only now the tarot cards are a concrete representation of what I was doing before.
Are the tarot cards a concrete representation of what Ray Ray was doing? I mean, you basically, it's very similar to what you were doing before, but you're just using a different method to pull down the information.
Okay. Well, all right. So, I mean, if I want to be able to paraphrase in a couple sentences, Ray, you took care of 2/3 of your karma so far before the tarot thing got introduced to you. And you did it because, you were going through a thought process or during your meditations on your hike, you were having a dialogue with that person's higher self. I'm just curious, I mean, I realize I can throw down the cards and do the same thing, but what was I doing before I even put my hands on tarot cards?
Are you talking about related to the past life?
I mean, releasing 70% of the karma. I'm guessing I had like some kind of exercise, like a swimmer would. Like I'm gonna practice these strokes in the pool. So I must have been doing some kind of repetitive exercise, or maybe I had a strategy for streamlining my efforts. Was I communicating with the other person's higher self and saying, I forgive you and I release? Was it just that Hawaiian prayer that I can't pronounce? Ho hapa
Oh,
hapa.
the Ho'oponopono. Is it the Ho'oponopono? That has a lot to do with it. But you're resolving a lot of issues in this lifetime. You're having to work through a lot of very difficult emotions, and you are resolving so much, is what I'm getting.
Okay, thank you. So, you mentioned last time that the remaining karma, because I got my eyes targeting it. My remaining karma is really really old, and it's nitty gritty, if I remember the word that you used. And I'm wondering, what's that all about? I mean, not to say that I'm apprehensive. I want to address it, and I don't want to break the game by saying I want to know when you guys are going to throw the stuff at me. I would like to know more about where that karma came from, so I know how to address it. I don't know how else to ask the question.
Okay, so
What's up with
I'm sorry, where did the karma come from?
yeah? What's up with that remaining karma? Where did it come from? Please.
Mm, where did that remaining karma come from? So this is all coming in from your past lives. I'm uncovering a turtle. Now, in that lifetime, you were a loner. You didn't want to be. I feel that's a pattern. You always end up by yourself, even though you really don't want to be, but it just is a natural thing. And I'm saying, but why? Why does Ray always end up sort of alone in the lifetimes? The soul designs it that way, but why? Because you get more work done. Okay, that makes sense to me. So in that lifetime of a turtle, what was the karmic debt? So there's a lot of karmic debt towards yourself, actually, internal karmic debt, where you don't allow yourself to have relationships. You don't allow yourself to have like an abundance of people around you. It's always very slimmed down to almost nothing. And I'm saying, but why? What I mean, obviously that's to get more things done, but what is it about the self karma, the karmic debt you owe yourself? You just don't trust yourself. There's an element of distrust on the soul level that you can't have it all. You don't, your soul doesn't believe in that. Your soul doesn't believe in doing things by halves. It believes in doing things by wholes only. So if you were to have it all, so say you were to have, a family, and you were to have, lots of people around you all the time, what I'm getting is your soul believes that you wouldn't accomplish everything that it wants to. Now, one thing that your soul just said to me is you're trying to get out of this reincarnation trap as fast as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. All right, we understand each other.
Yeah, right. You're so funny. It's done with the games. It's done with the life lessons. It's really done with having to go through karma and tragedy and having to expend its emotions, and it's tired. Your soul is tired. I'm picking that up very strongly. Like I've been doing this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and I'm ready to not do this anymore.
All right. I hope he's not just reading my mind. I mean, I think I agree with all the things that you said, so that the work we must be focusing on is like, let's get rid of the karma, because in lots of ways, all the stuff I'm
Mhm.
doing hanging around on Earth's surface, it doesn't really matter. You know, after I leave, everybody's pretty much on their own. So I'll do the best I can while I'm here, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Obviously, there's some great planning. There's some great planning that went into getting me here where I am right now. And I also want to say, I mean, great planning on the incremental level. Like, even from day to day, they do not let me advance unless like I've advanced properly. There's no step skipping for me. I can tell that these guys are moderating my progress incrementally, and I'm really grateful. Because if I went too fast, I would mess up. But anyway, you're right. I don't want to come back. I hope my higher self agrees with me. That's my plan this time. So, I mean, can I ask, what are my chances of getting it done this lifetime? Am I going to have to come back, or should I keep on swinging for the fences because I got a chance to win?
I knew you were going to ask me that. You will be back,
Oh,
but what I'm getting is, you'll have some lifetimes where you're just eking out the final particulars. They're not going to be as dramatic as this lifetime that you're experiencing now. But it's, now you've got to learn to vibrate at a much higher frequency, how to not get bogged down with problems is what I'm getting. How to really just cultivate a life at a higher frequency. So yeah, it all looks very promising, I think. I mean, you've really been put through the ringer. This thing that's happened to you, and also I feel like the death of your parents as well. Uh that was pretty difficult. I mean, you've never had it easy. When I look at your life, you've always had to fight for everything you've had, right? Everything, every job, every, degree, even though the information comes easy, the difficult part is fitting in with other people.
and if I address the karma I owe to myself, those relationships I have on the outside are going to change as well.
Ooh. Are the relationships going to change if Ray addresses the karma? They will change, and you may have to go through another period of offloading people, but then I feel like you're going to have a new set of people coming in that are more to your alignment, is what I'm getting.
And we're talking about this lifetime.
Yes.
Okay. Um, Wonderful. And as I
You
say every,
know,
yeah, go ahead.
I wish you would have been my teacher because, like, I can just see it in your eyes. You're just so excited about the information. That's what kids need. They need somebody who's just enthusiastic and raring to go and makes things like fun and entertaining. And I have to say, I don't know if I told you, but my absolute favorite teacher of all time was a male.
Yes, you mentioned it. Yes.
Female teachers, I mean, I feel that you just get one after the other that just has no enthusiasm. How are children supposed to be excited about learning? I don't know.
Yeah, they live in a different world, and they all got iPads in front of their faces, so they're pretty much a different kind of human now. Uh,
Yeah.
so again, another example of how I got out of there just in time. You know, the model that I was, I could still be effective, but it's a different it's a different machine now. I really appreciate all those things you're saying. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Um,
but I mean, it's almost like you're too good for the school system.
okay. Yeah, I was just thinking I'm a little bit overqualified and
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. But again, here I am, just this big lump of super qualified whatever. Come on. So, let me see if I think you mentioned last time that regarding the karma that there might have been one particular lifetime, that brought my batting average down, and I'm wondering if that's something that we could still confirm, or maybe something I could Google after the meeting.
Yeah, you've had a rough time. You know, the other thing that you should work on also, you don't have to just stick with one channel. You
Right.
could do multiple channels. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to teach subject material using your own YouTube channel and get lots and lots of views with subjects that people struggle with. So what did you teach?
So that was awesome again, Liz Cross. I hadn't thought of that either. Monetizing what I already do. I'm also, I'm not half bad at running a Zoom meeting and teaching a lesson. I was an elementary school teacher.
Okay, so you do all the subjects, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you could break it down and teach. What grade were you teaching?
Uh, my credentials K through 6, but I also had a couple of high school credentials. I don't think I would want to do that kind of intense work. I mean, especially if I'm really tired, I don't have to work that hard. But I think that there's some subject matter that
Mm,
I feel like I would only be good at. I'm not going to be as good as Khan Academy in math and some other places, but nobody's got ancient civilizations down like Breakaway Ray, and linking up to the Age of Aquarius. And you're right, I've got two channels. I've got StarCard, but I also have a second one. I don't have a lot of things on it yet, but it's called Tarot with Breakaway Ray. And that was like at the very beginning of my tarot adventure. And I thought it was like
mhm.
a miracle when I had a couple of coincidental cards come out. And now I realize, that happens all the time. Anyway,
Yeah, but you know, if you wanted to have a teaching channel, let's ask this question. Would it be successful? Yes, especially those things that you are very, very good at. And those are timeless things, right? That students can look into. That's how students learn now. They go to YouTube. They don't really go to anywhere else anymore. They go to YouTube looking for information. And as long as you're teaching like the curriculum, I feel you could get millions of views.
well done, Liz Cross. Thank you very much. This is a great life coaching session. It wasn't where I was gonna go, but it's definitely where I need to go. I was busy on the inside and I needed help on the outside. This is ironic that Psychic Liz Cross has helped me with the outside world here. This is great.
Oh,
So thank
so you are
you.
so sweet, Ray Ray. You were just so nice. Okay, so let's find the lifetime that led
Yeah.
to a very, very big load of karmic debt. So I'm asking your soul to show me that lifetime. Okay, I'm getting something of a beetle. You were some type of beetle, very large beetle. This is around the dinosaur time. Okay. This is
Huh?
how old your soul is.
Okay.
And you're scurrying through, it looks to be almost like a jungle or a very leafy vegetative veget vegetation. And I'm saying, why are you in such a hurry? And you're going, I don't know. I move everywhere in a hurry. I just go very quickly because I don't want to become a target. I move very hurriedly. And you don't want anyone to see you, and you just don't want to be noticed at all. So everything you do is very hurried and rushed. Um, Eventually you do get eaten, but the big karmic debt to yourself, and don't forget, what we think as a human may not be big in terms of percentages, but as the soul as it stood at that time, this hurriedness and you still got eaten, you're saying to me, I just can't win down here. I just can't seem to win. I have all these methods that I try and nothing seems to work. Everything always seems to be stacked against me. I just don't know what else to do. Okay, so and that's where you lost a lot of faith in your planning, a lot of faith in your design, a lot of faith in you making decisions, life plans. You just nothing seemed to work. And it's almost as if this is when the soul came to some sort of realization that we weren't supposed to win here. We're supposed to lose, that this design is for us to fail. It's not for us to win. You know, that's how we feed the consciousness machine. And but that was a really hard blow to you at this realization of I just can't seem to win no matter what I do. And I still feel there's elements of that in this lifetime. No matter how hard you try, no matter how nice you are, no matter how hard you work, you do everything by the book. You do, you know, you make sure everything is meticulous. You do move in a hurried like state here in this lifetime as well. I don't want anybody to find any fault with me. And I work very hard at doing so. But your soul is still carrying around this thing like nothing works. I just can't seem to win. And that's got to be removed because with that belief system in place, you won't ever be able to win.
So it's just a belief. It's it reminds me of one of those tarot cards. I think it's the Four of Cups or Five of Cups. You know,
Mm,
you're not even looking at the cup that you think that there's a cup missing, but they're all there. You're just not paying attention. Anyway, I want to thank you for that. You know, you're certainly, you know, spelling out the undercurrents of my life. You know, what with my obsession with privacy and
mm,
and then in the whole episode at work, you know, because I kept on trying to, you know, ask for help with higher ups year after year for like 15, 20 years. And, you know, as you noticed, nobody listened to me. You know, you mentioned that, I think, in our first meeting. So
mm,
uh,
mm.
thanks for that snapshot. I mean, I guess now I have more to discuss with the tarot deck later. And I got to, I'm not recording right now, but I'm sure glad that you are. This is going to be a great recording
Yeah.
to look at. This is very valuable already, talking about my karma. You know, it
But
gives, I get this.
sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me give this to you. I'm sorry, Reyes is coming in. See, but where you are in your consciousness at the moment, you can win,
That's right.
right?
And I want to.
It's exactly. And you have the tools to do so. But
Good.
this belief system that you're holding on to on a soul level prevents that. You can win. Oh, I can see that very clearly. You have all the consciousness material. You know what I mean? You're well equipped. But it's this belief system that keeps drawing in these negative experiences at this moment that needs to be changed. So you're going to have to either pull some tarot cards like what we got from spirit about that belief system and cleanse and detach from each card accordingly, or you're going to have to you can use the CTT, you can use it to transmute any and all negative belief systems about yourself that you hold about you into positive white light self-love. So at the basis of all negative emotions is self-love, and you can get rid of that belief system so that you can win. Where you are in the physical body right now as a human, you definitely can win. It's actually the soul that's kind of holding you back because of that belief system. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, I definitely get that last part. Um,
Unnecessarily so.
Yeah, come on, higher self, soul. Let's loosen up here.
Right.
Come on. Uh, I mean, if he's like the manager of my baseball team, he's got to be happy. I'm like his Shohei Ohtani, and I'm using a Dodger guy. I should be using, Aaron Judge because I'm a Yankee dude. But I'm his all-star. So, you got to have confidence. Anyway, um, that was a great exploration. I know we're limited on time, and there's a couple of other subjects I wanted to touch on. But again, this is
Mhm.
another thing where I could spend another 4 hours talking to you about this stuff. It's wonderful.
Oh, you're so nice.
All right. So there's this character. We might be dispelling a whole bunch of Crazy Ray rumors or Crazy Ray
That's
ideas.
fine.
Yeah. So there's this guy from 1840s and 1850s, Beaver Island, Michigan. His name is James Jesse Strang, Strang, and he was an early pioneer amongst the Mormons. He even set up his own little faction of Mormons, which didn't fall in line with the guys in Utah. James Jesse Strang, and I'm wondering, is he tied to me somehow?
Ooh, is James Jesse Strain tied to Ray Ray somehow? Possibly. He tied to Ray Ray somehow? I feel like you've had a past life with him.
With him or as him?
As him? No. With him? Yes. You were female in that lifetime, though.
Ooh. Which one of his wives was I? You could just give me a number. I'll look up the name.
Ooh. Were you one of Yes. Oh my God, how many wives did he have?
Something like 14?
I got number 12 for you.
Oh, 12. I think you're right, 12. Oh, I was number 12.
Yeah.
I was number 12. All right, that's going to be delightful for me to study. I
How
appreciate.
did you know that?
Some years ago, I don't know why, I came up with the idea because I was kept getting the message of, with the word monarch. It was around me everywhere. And I mean, we would need a whole another hour to explore all the things that I was thinking about and what I think now. But one day I said, well, was there a monarch in America? And of course, that's paradoxical. You can't have it. So I put it in the browser, and then this guy came up because he was the king of Beaver Island. And he was up there for more than one U.S. presidency. And he had a lot of characteristics about him that reminded me of me. But it does not surprise me, anyway, so that's kind of where I went. There was also like some names in his life that were names that showed up in my life and in my job. Names like Bennett was one, and oh, there was another lady who had like a Scottish name, and she was the only lady I ever knew who had that name. And the only other time I ever heard that name was when I looked up James Jesse Strang, and that name showed up. So and then he showed up. I did a little work with him. It's so funny. I wrote a chapter about two of his wives who were cousins in the kitchen, and they were discussing, James Jesse Strang, because he was away now in Wisconsin. He had been shot and he was recovering, but he wasn't going to make it. And so these girls were seeing, the tower card. They were seeing their world come down around him, and they were young cousins at the time. So that's an interesting thing that you mentioned. I was one of his wives because that was the whole angle that I took when I wrote that chapter. Wow.
Wow.
You remember we were talking about that one teacher who had the conversation and motivated all the stuff and prompted all this. So is there a way to check and see if our contract is now absolved? Are we now done with each other? Can't we just be done? Wouldn't it be better if we were? So is there a way to check it? Are we really done? Because I want to stop thinking about it myself too.
No, she owes you now.
Oh yeah, you said that before. Can we just forgive her? I mean, is there something I can do where I could say, no, it's fine. We don't have to do this anymore. We don't want to, I don't need anything from her. At least I don't think I do. I really would like to let it go. We don't need to do this anymore. Is there a way I could just say to her, listen, you did me a favor. I love you. I hope that you get better because I think you need some help that I can't help you with. And, let's help each other by not doing this anymore. Is that something we could say?
No.
Ugh.
I mean, you can say it. She very much likes having this contract with you and you both bringing lessons to one another. Now, I know you don't like it and I
Yeah.
don't blame you. But in order for it to be completely dissolved, you have to get her permission to let go. And you have to really forgive any and all karmic debt that is now owed to you.
Which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to forgive it right
Yeah.
now.
But she would have to agree to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, this sounds like the kind of situation, we're in. It sounds like maybe next lifetime around, I'm going to be surprised again, and there she is. I don't think it's necessary. I kind of want to be separate. I want to move on to a different soul group here. Is this lady even part of my soul group? I don't think we really need to carry on like this anymore. I don't feel like being tied to her in any valuable way. I think that she should take it and pass it on. That would really impress me. Do something in my honor. As if when people die, you make a donation to some organization in their honor. I would be happy if she passed that karma on to the children that she works with. Make it up to me by being nice to those kids.
Um, yes, yes. And that's one way of getting rid of it all. But I think it's a work in progress. You still don't understand fully why the contract happened in the first place.
So,
I just am getting, you have to get that, get to grips with that understanding.
all right, that might end up being another time when I have to jump the queue to talk to you, Psychic Liz Cross, because you're right. I don't know what the contract was about. I was hoping we could just be done with it. I mean, if it's easy and they want to tell me what that contract was about, I'm all ears. So, or if they're saying I have to wait, then I guess I have to wait. But anyway, no one can tell me about the contract that I have with this lady, and because is there something I need to know? Am I allowed to ask why we wrote it in the first place? And
Yeah.
is there something I can do about that?
Yeah, let's ask. What is the contract with Ray and this teacher? Okay. Show me the past life. What is it that led to this? Okay. Now in a past life you wronged her.
I'm so sorry.
How far? I don't feel like this is going that far back either. I feel it could be one of the lifetimes just before this one. She was madly in love with you. And yet you resisted her advances. You were religious, actually quite religious. You were married and you didn't want anything to do with her.
Sounds like this lifetime.
Right. Yeah. This is going quite the way back. Very religious, extremely religious, puritanical. Uh,
Probably.
she couldn't understand. She just doesn't understand why. And it was like this hatred. I will get you back, this revenge.
See,
She actually ended her life over you in the last lifetime due to the rejection.
but again, she
Now,
was. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. In this lifetime, she just targeted you. She just had this vicious hatred, revenge. She didn't even know why she had this vicious hatred, revenge. She's got a lot of unresolved anger, and it just comes across so strongly. She actually hates her job. Did you know that?
I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah.
Um, she hates it. She doesn't want to be there. She has to be there. She doesn't want to be there. And I'm like, isn't your job hard enough without having to resort to coercing children and making malicious allegations or poisoning of the mind or anything like that? That's who she is. This is the first time that this has happened. How long have you actually known her?
Her entire teaching career, which is almost 30 years.
Oh, geez. You know, she was sexually abused in this lifetime.
You told me about her and her father last time we spoke. Yes. I'm
Oh,
so
did I?
yes. You're consistent and you know what you're talking about. So I mean I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for all those things. And
Yeah.
obviously I'm in the same position I was in this previous lifetime.
Right, but what happened to her in this lifetime is not your fault, right? She's harboring a lot of resentment, anger,
yeah.
wants to take predators down. You know, this is her way to get back
And I
at
agree. And I agreed to let her come back in this lifetime to get revenge on me because I wouldn't pay attention to her last time. I feel like for some reason I feel like I could have had better boundaries than to agree to something like that.
yeah, I agree. Um no, but it was the karmic debt. It was cyclical. Um no. See, and in the next in this lifetime you owed her. Um
I don't get how I owed her. She killed herself because she couldn't get me to stop being in love with my wife. I was already married. Was I supposed to leave my wife in those times and chase after whoever she was? I think it was she got a schoolgirl crush going on. That sounds like kind of what happened this time. I'm not fueling it just because I'm good looking or something. That doesn't mean I like you. Just because you like me doesn't mean I like you. I think that this lady also thinks that she's having affairs with people when she's really not having affairs with people. But it creates a problem.
oh.
Like you mentioned, she was having an affair with the principal, and it made me think that she was also trying to have an affair with that mom on that hike on that street I was telling you about. But I really feel like I mean, because you see this a lot when you do your mind probes. People
Mm,
lie to themselves. They have a perspective where they don't see things quite the same way you and I might in a
yeah.
subjective way.
Yes. I get, so let's ask, does she have a warped view of people? She definitely does. You're right.
Okay. So, by reason of insanity, can we disband the contract? And when I promise, I make the promise right here on the internet on video. I promise that when I get up there and we see each other again, I will go with her to whatever course is going to help her. We're going to go listen to the Pope talk. He'll give us a good pep talk. I'll help her with her first steps, point her in the right direction to get healed. But coming down here and doing it is not working. So let me meet with you when we get back up there. I want to help. And when we get up there, we have a better chance of communicating and getting the help that we need. And we'll point you in the right direction, but we don't need to come back and do this stuff anymore.
Mm, mm. I agree with you. I think that your consciousness has elevated so much that this is like you're kind of like, I understand it. It's almost like this is kind of low level consciousness stuff. I really don't need this anymore. And I totally get it. You really don't. You really don't need it anymore.
So is that something that we can relay and negotiate right now? I've seen Dolores Cannon do it a bunch of times.
Mm.
Let's strike a deal and let me at least help you get your foot in the door when we're in the life between lives. I'll meet you up there, but then I'll point you in the right direction and you're on your own. We don't need to do this stuff down here anymore. Is that something we can agree to?
Is that something that we can agree to? I mean, I feel that it is, but again, you can use the CTT to
Okay.
send that information over to her soul.
Okay.
You would say, there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to install this information into, her soul. And you make a long list of, we don't need to do this. This is low level stuff. I am not responsible for what happened to you in this lifetime, in your childhood. Whatever you want to put in there, you have treated me unfairly. I know that there's a karmic debt owed. However, I am not interested in continuing this soul contract, this tit for tat thing that we keep doing. Whatever information you want to put in there, and you would say that part of my being is willing to inform the rest of her now. Now, the thing is, with this kind of stuff, this is not a one-hit wonder session. This is something that, as you know, you would have to do quite a few times in order to how long would Ray have? I feel like you would have to do it at least 3 times a day for about 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
But it's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, again, great information. Now I have a plan of how to work towards this. If her higher self, can't get along with this now, because this is not an old thing. It sounds like, in the last lifetime, I just bumped into her or something, and what? Oh, all of a sudden I'm her target. I mean, it's not like we go way back. She's not part of my soul family or anything. This is a random hit, isn't it? And again, I don't get why I even agreed to deal with this anyway. But again, well, was there a question in there? Did you catch it?
It's not random. It may feel random, but it's not random.
So it's not random this time, but in the last lifetime, where she suicided herself, that wasn't my deal. Was that like the first time we had encountered each other? It's not like we go way back, is it?
Is that the first time that no. You've encountered one another quite a few times before, even in like insect lifetimes, animal lifetimes. You've been at each other's throats before. I'm getting that very strongly. Yeah, it's just, no, this is not, and it's always been, a discord between the two of you. It's always been a problem.
All right. I mean, I've heard so many wonderful things today. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed. But I'm disappointed that, this keeps going on, and I want to be done with it. But obviously, you give me hope because you gave me some steps to try, and, within 6 months, maybe we can move past this. We really covered a whole gamut of things. I totally don't know how much time has passed, but I was wondering if I could squeeze in at least one more question.
Yeah, of course.
I'm discovering I have some kind of psychic abilities, and
Oh, yeah.
when I'm throwing tarot for the guys on the Typical Skeptic podcast, they're all telling me, Ray, you're 100% accurate. You're hitting the nail on the head. And another thing that occurs to me is that I feel like maybe I can also look down backwards and forwards on timelines. And I'm wondering, maybe we could consult with my higher self a little bit here. I can read tarot cards. Can I look forwards and backwards on timelines also?
Yes, you can.
Did I do that in multiple lives in the past, or was there one life in particular where I did this kind of thing?
No, this is new to this lifetime.
Reading people's timelines is a new gift just this lifetime.
Yes.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
when I was like 11 years old, I was saying goodbye to my friends in Buffalo, New York. I mean, I'm just going to tell you a quick anecdote, Psychic Liz Cross. And I was saying goodbye to these two girls, and I shook hands with one of the girls, and she said, goodbye. And I said, I'll see you later. And she said, no, I'm not going to see you later. You're moving to California. And I said, no, it feels like we're going to see each other again. And then like 25, 30, 35 years later, she and her family moved to my school district, and her kid was in my class. And we discovered, that we both remember that her friend Joan in Buffalo, New York. So was this a gift? This gift that I can look down and up and down people's timelines, was that a gift given to me for this lifetime in particular?
You've achieved the consciousness expansion to be able to do it.
And that was obviously before I was born.
Yeah, it was put into this lifetime. Yes.
Okay.
But this is all to do with your spiritual growth anyway.
Awesome. I met with another psychic. Her name was the Reincarnated Mystic. And she said, because I asked her, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? And she said, part of my job was to raise cosmic awareness. And I thought it would be a good chance for me to ask my higher self, why am I here again? Tell me like the top line of our game plan. Why did I come down to Earth this time, please?
I'm getting very strongly like it really is to not only raise cosmic awareness, but you're so hell-bent on getting out of here.
Yeah.
In the reincarnation trap, but in a positive way.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm getting. That's what your soul is most focused on.
Can I speak? Hey, you know what, Psychic Liz Cross? Again, I'm not going to be able to stop myself, I don't think. So go ahead and let me know if you need to, watch my time or whatever. But I'd like to talk to some of my spirit guides here. Like last time around, or a couple of times ago, you told me, yeah, my father's mother, my grandmother, we love each other immensely. And then there was a male figure and a female figure that reminded you of Thelma from the Scooby-Doo cartoon. And
oh yeah, that's right.
so can I talk to those two people real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, and then and one more question before I get to those two. You also mentioned that I took on karma for some friends before I came down here so that they could ascend and go beyond. And I'm wondering, are those two people on my spirit guide team?
Ooh, are those two people? No, they're not.
So they've ascended and they've gone on, and I've taken care of them. All right, that's wonderful. I wish them luck. All right, so I guess, I know they love me. I'm not saying that they abandoned me, because obviously they left me in a good place, right? I'm in a good place to do what I'm hell-bent on doing. So now talking about these other two, are there names that they want to share with me, or shall I just say the names that I thought that I've come across with them?
Yeah, go ahead. What are the names that you have?
So the female is Mary, and she was someone I channeled during my first QHHT. She was my first spirit guide. And Mary, it's possible she's also someone who was a Jewish slave, and she was persecuted for her beliefs. That came through from. So I think I'm
That
putting.
is correct.
So that is Mary. Okay.
Yes.
And then the other guy is Claudius, and again, putting together information from other interviews. Claudius is a Roman soldier who doesn't incarnate in lifetimes with me, but he always is by my side in all my lifetimes.
He is one of your guides, yes.
And well, is there anything that, like, I think I need to know a little bit more about Mary, because I got some I got some apprehensions about the female gender, and maybe Mary would like to enlighten me. I mean, I'm sure I could channel her, but anyway, while we have her on the line, uh, is there something she wants to share with me about interacting with the fairer gender?
You know, she was a grandmother to you way, way back. I'm getting you were related to her at some point in some of your life, in how many, about 4 or 5 lifetimes. She was a very prominent figure in your lifetimes. She was always enslaved, and you always felt very sorry for her as well. You couldn't understand why she, as wonderful as she is, why she was always so treated so badly. And you were always around her. There were lots of children, actually. There were lots of you. I do feel this was in the Middle East. I really do. Were you Jewish? Yes, she was Jewish. Do you have Jewish roots going way back?
Not at all, as far as I know. My family's Italian, dating back to early Rome. We come from the hills in Italy called Castelvetere sul Calore, which is near Naples.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you've known her. Yeah, for
But
sure.
okay. Well, I want to thank her for helping me and being with me. I mean, maybe she has a message, because I mean, she doesn't still feel a sense of imprisonment, does she? Do I need to help her liberate herself from that? Am I here to help, break down mental bondage so that we can move on and ascend together?
No, I feel like she has managed to overcome the obstacles,
Okay.
but with your help, with your faith, and with your trust. I'm saying, how do we deal with the opposite sex now? How do we deal with females now? She says you don't.
I understand that there's like more than just Claudius and Mary and my grandmother Marie. By the way, does my grandmother Marie know Claudius and Mary from other lifetimes too? Have we all been around together?
His grandmother Marie know Claudius and Mary? No, she does not know them.
But Grandma Marie and I have been in the same soul family for a long time. Is that true?
You've been in the same soul family. Yes, but this with Mary is like ancient. I mean, this is going way back.
Does it have something to do with, in this lifetime, the ancient country of Phoenicia, Phoenicia, has always appealed to me ever since high school. And I'm wondering, we keep talking about the Middle East, and I'm wondering, is that the location we're talking about? Lebanon, Phoenicia, Israel, that area?
No, Lebanon. It's more Israel area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there
Have you
other?
ever been there?
No, I've been to Italy, but not to the Near East. No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Israel's amazing.
I think
You can't
yeah,
go right now. I mean,
right. Um, so I understand there's a lot of people in that party. So is there anyone else on the spirit team there that wants to introduce themselves? For example, is there a Tartarian or a giant there?
oh my God, that's so funny. Because I do see almost like a caveman type of person Almost with, you know, how they used to have the clubs and I do see someone like that. He is very large. He's your strength. You get your strength from him. That's really his role, is to install strength. Mary is more compassion, being
And,
humble.
and she said that I have helped her with her ascension process. Was that, did I help her?
Yes.
Did I help her in this lifetime?
Oh, that's a good question. Did Ray help you in this lifetime? Yes, because the more she watches over you and the more you're gaining ground here, the more they are being elevated as well. That was a good question.
How am I helping Claudius?
Claudius is where you get your toughness from. He's pretty tough.
Right.
Doesn't take any crap off anyone.
And Claudius.
So I feel Claudius, yes, you are helping, but not as much as you're helping Mary.
I got to tell you, I'm so happy I'm helping those people. I mean, I know they're helping me, but yeah, well, I mean, I like that. I'm so happy to talk to those spirit guides, and you know, you've just given me like a couple of months of wonderful stuff to meditate upon. I want to say hi to my dad one more time. I'm glad I got this chance. Can we invite my dad to come chat with us, please?
Oh, he's been here the whole time. Yes.
All right, hey, Dad. So, I know last time we spoke, he sounded kind of disappointed, you know, with the way he, you know, interacted or related with me and my sister, and he felt like he had some disappointment. And I want to say he doesn't need to feel disappointed at all. You know, he did everything he needed to do to make me the man that I am right now. All the ways that I protect myself, you know, all the ways that I look at things twice and I check twice, and the ways that I conserve money and listen carefully to what people are saying. You know, a lot of that I got from my dad. And my dad was never cruel to me. He was never cruel to me on purpose, and he was never really cruel to me at all. And I understand, you know, he was influenced certainly by his last wife, and he was doing things that I didn't agree with. You know, I feel like on his deathbed, I feel like it must have been on his deathbed. He called up and he asked me for $140,000, and I just couldn't give away all my savings, you know, so that his wife didn't have to go to prison for what she did. And I'm glad that I didn't. And I feel like I got a lot of help from the spirit world on that. But I want to say, you know, Dad, I forgive you for all that stuff. I want you to understand that last time around, you know, when I'm asking you and Psychic Liz Cross for help with the situation with the house down there, you know, it was because we were trying to get that resolved before you guys left, so we wouldn't be in that position. And also, this is where Psychic Liz Cross helps out, is that, you know, she said that someone's going to buy it for 800 grand and sell it for 2 million, which didn't sound right. But then a couple of weeks later, the tariffs came up, and then it made sense. You know, an established property like that probably will go for 2 million after someone spruces it up. But here I was, you know, trying to make sense of all the things, and I wasn't sure if it was, you know, pie in the sky, and I didn't want to make a mistake, you know, because if you were alive, Dad, and I told you, here's a financial decision I'm going to make based on a psychic who said she spoke to a dead relative, you know, you would have said, Ray, get a hold of yourself. So anyway, I just want to say, you know, I'm not upset with you. I love you. I forgive you. I care about you. And we don't have to come back to Earth and do anything over again, Dad, okay? You know, you did what you needed to do for me, and I hope I helped you. So I want to let you know that you shouldn't carry on worrying about me or Leanne, really. You shouldn't worry about me for sure. You know, I'm on your side. I want you to move on. I hope you're enjoying your salsa dancing, but I don't want you to be hung up. I don't begrudge you anything. You know, I was just trying to get through some 3D stuff down here. So Liz Cross, thanks for listening and help me speak to my dad about this.
That's sweet. You were such a nice person. You were such a nice person. Your dad loves you very, very much. He's always around for you.
Dad.
Wow.
All right, so you heard all that, right?
That is just so amazing.
No more karma, Dad. We, don't even think about it. When I come up, we're gonna move on together. Okay, we don't have to come back down and do anything. We're good. Yeah, everything you did was for real, was for good. So let's not even worry about it.
Oh, wow. You are such a good person. You really are. I mean, you dedicated your life of service to the others. I mean, it's just amazing, really. I don't think people give you enough credit.
Maybe not yet. Maybe a couple of years, right? That's all right. I don't need the credit, as long as I get upstairs and we're all cool.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you will, you're going to be fine.
Great. Great.
You're going to be just fine.
Right. And I guess I'm guessing I have more psychic gifts coming my way. If I'm recognizing I'm reading timelines and I got the tarot card going, is there any one last thing, I should be keeping an eye out for? Is there, remote viewing, remote influencing? I feel like I'm dabbling with that already. It's almost like sometimes I agree, it's like too much information. But anyway, is there any do my spirit guides want to say anything about get ready, Ray, because here's the next step in your psychic development?
Ooh, what is the next step in Ray's psychic development? I think you're going to do more with this controlled time travel. That's what I'm getting.
Controlled time travel. I've heard that with a time traveler.
Oh.
I've never heard of controlled time travel before. I, I'm sorry to press, but is there? I guess I'm. What would that entail? Is there a little sub headline? Controlled time travel is
Controlled time travel. I think you're going to go into the future with your consciousness and report back.
and I'm going to report back on the STARCARD podcast.
Ooh, you could do that for sure. Wow, that's a good idea.
That's what I'm asking. Is that true? Am I correct? I'm going to be, exploring the Age of Aquarius and coming back and telling everybody about it.
Exploring the Age of Aquarius and coming. Yes, you could do that for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my brain's starting to shut down. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I work you today. So
Oh, it's okay.
thank you so much. You gave me a real gift today, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I won't keep you any longer, and I look forward to jumping the queue again sometime.
Oh, you're so sweet. And I'll give a shout out to your podcast for sure.